Well, hello, Alyssa.
Hi,
Welcome to your session today. So I want to get started with getting to know you. My name is Emerald, and I'm going to be doing your intake assessment today. And I was hoping that I could ask you a few questions just to get to know you a little better.
sounds good.
Okay. I want to start out by saying that this session will be completely confidential. However, in the case of child abuse, elderly neglect, or if I get court ordered, those are the only times that you will see that I will have to break confidentiality. Other than that, everything that is said in this space will stay in this space.
Okay.
Okay, so I want to start off by asking a little bit about yourself, if you're able to tell me about yourself.
Yeah, so my name's Alyssa. I'm 24 and I am currently like a full-time business student. And then I wait tables part-time. I don't know what else. I don't know what else do you think is like important?
That's good. That's pretty cool. I'm gonna take a couple notes if that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So tell me about your physical symptoms. Do you have any physical symptoms that brought you in today? Or
Yeah.
concerns that brought you in today?
Yeah. I sometimes I'm getting like a lot of like headaches. And then some like digestive issues, like my stomach will hurt like half the days I would say my stomach hurts. Um, and yeah,
Okay. How often would you say you get a headache every week?
probably like 5 days out of the week, I would say.
And then, do you think this affects your sleeping patterns, your appetite, or energy levels at all?
Yeah, actually, I definitely am like lower energy. Yeah, I definitely lower energy. I think sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night, usually not with like headaches as much. But I wouldn't say like I feel like I get like restful sleep all the time. Um, but yeah, I would say I'm usually pretty fatigued.
Yeah. How often would you say you use caffeine, alcohol, or any other drug maybe to help with this?
Yeah, I don't like drink alcohol that frequently. Um, just because I'm trying to like focus on um being like healthier. But caffeine, I usually drink like twice, sometimes 3 times a day. Like especially if I'm working till like 11 p.m. like at my job. It's just hard to like be able to do all my activities.
Okay, that makes sense. And what activity, like, walk me through a day, a typical day for you. What does that look like?
Yeah, so usually I wake up around like 8. I try to sleep in as long as possible. And then I have classes, and usually between classes I like study. So typically I have classes between like 9 and 4. And I did that on purpose so that I can work at night. I have a job waiting tables. So I usually will work like 5 p.m. So like the dinner hour. So like 5 p.m. until sometimes 10 or 11, depending on how many people are there. Um, Sometimes I can go to the gym like in between if I get out of class early. But it's also just hard to have like the energy,
Yeah,
and I'm not that motivated to. So,
yeah, I understand that. Um, how many hours on average would you say you get to sleep per night, if it's the same?
um, probably 8 hours, I would say.
Okay. Okay, you're getting 8 hours of sleep. That's pretty good. And then have you noticed any changes in your physical health that concern you?
Um, Sometimes like not as much. Like I said, like I have a lot of headaches and I don't know, like my stomach hurts, like I said before. Um I think that's been causing most of like that makes me feel anxious because I'm not sure if there's something like really wrong with me. Um, but yeah, every time go to the doctor, they say that everything's fine. So,
Okay. So you have been to the doctor for this and they said everything is fine. Um,
yeah.
do you mind walking me through what the digestive issues feel like if you're able to describe them?
Um, Honestly, like nothing ever like happens. Like sometimes I just feel like, oh, I could throw up. Um, but usually it's just like after, it's not even after I eat. It's just like some days like my stomach just hurts really, really badly. Especially if I'm like busy or like have a lot of stuff to get done. Um, it just feels like I don't know, like if I ate something bad, but I don't like usually throw up or anything.
Okay. And then you're not taking any medications at all for this because the doctor says everything's fine.
Yeah, they haven't prescribed anything for it.
Okay. Um, Thank you for that insight. So now I'm going to transition into some more personal questions about just your psyche and just help me get a better idea of what's going on. So, how might you describe your mood or your emotional state on most days?
Um, on most days I am pretty busy, so I feel pretty like overwhelmed. Like a lot of pressure to do well in school.
Mhm.
Um, some days I just feel like I don't want to be around people as much. I kind of have to because of my job in school, but it just makes me feel like, I don't know, like overstimulated maybe. Definitely like struggling as well with like being motivated and just like enjoying activities. I think I'm kind of like going through the motions a little bit.
Mhm.
Um, yeah.
Okay. And you are in school. Do you mind me asking what you're studying?
Going to school for business.
Okay, nice. Oh, nice. And my apologies. I wanted to ask if you have any questions up this far. Do you have any questions at all for me, or how you feeling?
I'm good. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Sorry about that. I meant to ask that
No, it's
a little
okay.
earlier, before we got into this section. So I'll keep going with questions. How do you usually cope with the difficult emotions that you've been going through, or different difficult situations?
Um, I think like usually like I like to be busy so that I'm like distracted. Um, I used to like being around people more. I think now it just like makes me a little bit anxious, but there are some people that I will there are some people that I do like enjoy hanging out with, like my siblings. I do like playing or yeah, I like hanging out with them and then a couple of close friends. But yeah, sometimes when I get more anxious, I just like don't want to be around other people as much.
And so you said you do have a relationship with your family and you do have a couple friends that you will hang out with from time to time.
Hmm.
Okay, how often would you say you hang out with those folks? Um, every a week.
Yeah. So I live with my sister and then so I see like her when I get home at night and stuff. And then I see like my friends at school during the day. I don't see them a ton outside of school just because we don't have a ton of, you know, time to do that. But um yeah, I see my parents like occasionally. I just think sometimes it's like they don't get it and it's like a lot of pressure to perform. Um, but I also like really like enjoy the people that I work with at night. So we do have fun together. Um, Other than that, I don't have like a ton of people that I hang out with. I have kind of like a smaller group.
Okay. Um, and then I want to ask a question about your thoughts. Have you experienced any changes in your thoughts over like overthinking or trouble concentrating? I know we've kind of talked about that. If you could elaborate a little bit more.
Yeah, so um I've always kind of I don't know, I've always kind of been like a little bit depressed, I would say, like feeling kind of down, I would say that's kind of normal, but recently it's been more like I've had yeah, like difficulty concentrating, sometimes like racing thoughts or like I kind of like isolate myself a little bit. Um, so it was one of my professors that noticed that a little bit more just because it's been noticeable in the past couple of months. Um, but I think I just worry a lot about school and like not doing well.
Okay. And then would you say that these thoughts are thoughts that are every day? Would you say they change throughout the week?
Um, I'd say it's like most days now. Um, it's kind of hard to keep track of because sometimes I don't know. But I would say like most days I have difficulty like concentrating. If I'm in like a less busy period of my life, I do a little bit better. But yeah,
Okay.
recently it's just seemed like more and more days.
Okay. Um, when was the last time that you felt genuinely happy or at peace? And what was happening then?
Um, I went on a run like 2 weeks ago and I felt like really good because it was nice outside and I felt really good. Yeah, and I remember thinking this isn't that common that I have like energy and feel relaxed, but we had like a couple days off of school, so I got a little bit of a break. I would say that was the last time though, so it's been about 2 weeks.
Okay. No, that felt nice to get a little break where you can actually
Yeah.
work out. I know you talked about not having as much energy to get to the gym often throughout the week, and so that's been one of the barriers.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
Okay. As far as your family and friends, do you feel like they are there, they support you, or do you feel supported in your life overall?
Um, yeah, I don't think like they all know that much. I would say my like sister knows. My parents don't understand like mental health stuff as well. Um, yeah, so it's harder to like describe to them, and I didn't really know that I was having any issues until my professor like kind of urged me to go like come here. Um, but yeah, my sister is supportive too, and she wanted me to come, to counseling. Um, but yeah, I just don't think my parents would like understand very well, especially since I don't have the words to describe a lot of things. So
Okay. Um, well, thank you for that. I do want to transition more to talk about your supports in general. Um, do you have any questions as far? And
no,
I'm gonna check in to see how you're feeling and if you're good to continue to go forward.
yeah, I'm good.
Awesome. And so now I want to ask a couple questions. I know you've mentioned your professor. Seems like you have a really good relationship with them. Are you able to
Yeah,
describe your relationship with your professor?
yeah. She was kind of like my. I've had her like for a couple of different classes. It's not a very big program. So I've had her for a couple different classes. And she just like encouraged me to get help just because she noticed that I wasn't doing as well in my classes. But I kind of like trust her and her opinion because I've had her for obviously a lot of different classes, and um I feel like she's gotten to know me really well over like the last couple of years. So um yeah, because it kind of takes a lot for her to notice something like that. So yeah, I would say like very supportive in my like academics and like really wants me to succeed, but also kind of supports me as a person.
Okay. Well, that's awesome. Um, in terms of your whole support system, um, how are your relationships with others? I know you talked about your professor and your sister pretty much being the only ones privy to what is been currently going on with you. Addition to those two, do you feel connected or isolated from anyone else?
Um, yeah, no, I feel like I just don't have that many in-depth relationships just because I'm moving around so much. So my sister's the one I consistently see, and then the next person really would be my professor and like people at school. Um, but really, I only see the people at school when I'm at school, and I only see the people from work when I'm at work. Um, and then just having my sister like living with me is helpful. Um, I guess I just don't really know what's going on, so I kind of want to know what's going on before I like tell people, because I have a hard time putting it into words. So,
Okay. And in your commitments with your job and your classmates and everything, would you say that these things are adding to your current stress level?
yeah, I think I started like noticing getting more stressed when like work picked up a little bit, but I feel like I need to like make money to pay tuition, and then I have all this pressure to do well in school, and my grades started to sort of like plummet a little bit this fall. So
And then prior to being in school, how was your relationship with let's start with your parents. How was your relationship with your parents prior to being in your program?
um good. I mean, they've always been like supportive, but I just don't always feel like I can express like negative emotions around them. But they were very supportive of me like going to school. I just think it was different when they went to school. There wasn't as much pressure and like as many things going on because I'm very busy, and so I'm just hoping they don't find out that my grades aren't that good.
Mhm.
But
And
I used to be more motivated, and now I'm like not as much, so I'm just kind of struggling with that.
yeah, and you would say that relationship has changed once you've been in the program.
Um, yeah, I would say, yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I would say so.
Okay. Do you have any other relationships outside of your sister that may have changed because of you being in the program?
Um, I think probably like at work, I haven't had as much time to like be there. So probably just not being as involved with those friends from work just because I have to be at school during the day. But yeah, other than that, not really.
Okay. Okay. I just wanted to get like a general sense of an idea of the shifts in your support systems and how they may have changed over time. So thank you for that insight. How are you feeling right now?
Good. Yeah.
Awesome. So I have a few more questions that I want to ask, if that's okay, for us to continue. Um, If at any moment you have any questions, feel free to let me know. If you want to pause, we can do that, okay? So my next question is going to be, are there any personal beliefs, values, or practices that guide you in comfort during difficult times?
Um, I would say, uh, yeah, so I was raised in like a Catholic household, but I'm not like actively practicing. I think when I get really anxious, like prayer is definitely um something that I go to, but I don't really like, I don't know, I don't really like go to church or anything. I think I also usually like I was taught to do some like breathing exercises, so that helps when I'm struggling. Um, and then my sister also was helpful.
Okay. How often would you say you have used prayer or breathing methods within the last couple of weeks?
Only once, like last maybe like a week ago, I just had like a lot going on and I had a lot of things due, and I sometimes struggle to sleep because I'm thinking about all the things I have to do. So I just used some like breathing techniques to calm myself down because I didn't want to like have like a panic attack or something.
Mhm. Okay. Okay. The next couple of questions that I'm going to ask may be a little heavy. So feel free to ask me to reword them. If they're a little heavy, you want to take some time to think about them, that is okay as well. So how do you find meaning or purpose in your life, especially during challenging times?
I really like I really like the career that I'm like going into. I want to start my own business someday, and so like learning about business has been cool. I'm really passionate about like small businesses. So I think just like feeling that like that gives me purpose. And then like being with my friends, I know that like I have something to offer them. Um, as well as like obviously I benefit from being friends with them as well. But um that sort of gives me purpose. And then um yeah, I think it's mostly like people that are in my life that I feel like I can help. And then just I think once I'm done with school, like I am excited about what my career will look like and all of that. So yeah.
Yeah, it gives you something to look forward to. And so, yeah, it's like when you can see an ending, yeah, it's definitely helpful.
Yeah.
Um, the next question is, what gives you hope or a sense of resilience?
Um, it used to be like when I would like go to church or like my faith, I just haven't been active that much in that. That group of people was always very helpful. And then viewing the world in like a more positive way. Um, I think, yeah, but I think also like having like purpose, like my job and stuff gives me hope. And then also like I'm very passionate about like women in business and would like to like help other women grow in their businesses. So
Mhm.
that also gives me hope is like that I could positively like influence the world maybe in the future.
Okay, awesome. And then, so we talked about earlier how you enjoy going to the gym when you can when you have the energy to go. So it sounds like that could be one of your hobbies. Um, do you have any other hobbies outside of going to the gym that bring you joy?
Um, yeah, I like reading sometimes. Um, let's see. Sometimes I babysit. I just like being around kids a lot. So I have a couple friends who have kids. Um, Anything with like exercise, really, I do enjoy. So I'm hoping I can have more energy here soon so I can get back to that. Um, but yeah, I would say it's kind of a lot of different things. But I definitely like reading and I like to go and run. I do like to go to the gym and like take classes and stuff. Typically, I would say being around people, but I just haven't like been enjoying that as much. I think in general, all the things that my hobbies I used to have, I like just, I'm not enjoying as much as I used to.
At what point did you notice your energy levels declining?
That's a good question. Um, I would say like I've had pretty low energy for like the last even couple of years since I started my program. Um,
Okay, so like when once you started your program is when there was a decline. Okay.
yeah, I think I just started feeling like stressed and I don't know, like less motivated. It
Mhm.
was probably a little bit after I started my program, but yeah, I just stopped enjoying all the things I was doing as much and sort of, I don't know. Yeah, I definitely felt more like fatigued. Feel a little bit like down, I guess, but
Mhm.
yeah, probably the last like couple of years. And then I think the like anxious part of it started like the last couple of months.
Awesome. Thank you for that. So that was a question about the past. Now let's talk about the future. I meant to ask this question in the beginning, so please forgive me. What are your goals and hopes for our sessions in the future?
I think I just want to feel like I have energy to do things again, um, and enjoy just daily activities, and then like not feeling anxious anymore.
Okay, thank you. So that's definitely something that I want to explore with you during our sessions. So I want to offer you 12 sessions of cognitive behavioral therapy over the next 3 months. So what that will look like is 12 sessions. We'll set up hour sessions where we'll talk back and forth. I'll ask you questions. I may give you some small homework, something just to think about, and then we'll just try to tackle our goals one by one. How does that sound?
Seems good. Yeah, I
Okay,
think it would be helpful.
awesome. Well, even if we get to session 12 and you're like, I don't know if this really worked. We could try something else, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there because we're going to be hopeful that these 12 sessions are going to get you back to that space where Alyssa feels like Alyssa. And yeah. So I want to schedule our next session. What does your availability look like over the next month? Because I know you're in school.
I do have a gap in my classes on Tuesday afternoon.
hmm Okay.
Um, so anywhere from like 12 to 3.
Oh, okay. I actually have an opening from 1:30 to 2:30. Would that time work for you?
Perfect.
Okay. So let's start with the Tuesdays 1:30 to 2:30 and we'll do every week and then as time goes we can slow those down so we can do bi-weekly. Does that work for your
Okay.
schedule?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I am happy that we were able to connect and I was able to get to know you a little bit more. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me and I will give me 48 hours. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And yeah, I'm so happy that I'll be working with you, Alyssa.
Yeah, I'm excited.
So thank you. Well, take care and I will talk to you soon.
Okay. See you next week.
Bye bye.